For lunch, I had a BLT, perhaps bacon and eggs for breakfast, maybe a ham and Swiss on rye for tomorrow's lunch, roast pork for dinner, and maybe a pig roast for a graduation party. As Christians, we take eating pork for granted, along with the other foods not allowed to our religious forebears, the Jews. We believe ourselves to be exempt from the kosher laws of the Old Testament, the dietary regulations of Judaism. And though the early church struggled with the issue for some time, we see all foods as clean, as hinted to in this evening's gospel. Nothing that enters a person from outside can make him impure. That which comes out from within are what defile. And then Jesus goes on to list 13 examples of evils that come from within the human heart and so can render a person impure. First, evil thoughts. Every outward act of sin is preceded by a choice from within the human heart, a wicked design to do evil. Unchastity, fornication, all sexual vices. Would that some priests and bishops listened to Jesus. Third, theft, stealing, cheating, taking what belongs to another. Murder, adultery, and Jesus did away with the double standard. Women and men are responsible for upholding monogamous married life and love. Sixth, greed, the love of having more, of getting, grabbing, accumulating for its own sake, or for a false sense of power and security, seeking happiness in things rather than God and God's people, is a popular modern-day vice. Malice, evil deeds, not easily categorized, but the result of actively engaging in evil that encourages others to do so. Eighth, deceit. St. Bartholomew, whose feast was this past Tuesday, is described in John 1 as one in whom there was no guile, no deceit, no duplicity, as opposed to one filled with treachery, trickery, and deceit. Licentiousness, sensuality, a kind of wanton wickedness that resists all discipline and restraints, that is without decency or shame. 10th, envy, looking upon another's possessions, successes, happinesses with an evil eye. Blasphemy, insulting God, or slander, insulting one's fellow human beings. Arrogance, pride, showing contempt for all but oneself, because it invades God's prerogatives. It is the peak of all the vices, probably the original sin, and why, in the words of the Epistle of James, God opposes the proud. And finally, folly, an obtuse spirit, not a weak intellect, but moral folly. Quite the list Jesus gives us of the terrible things that can come from the human heart. It is a summons to an honest self-examination of our own hearts. For if our heart is not in the right place, then the externals of our religion, church-going, Bible reading, tithe-giving, daily praying, are in danger of becoming the mere ceremonial hand and dishwashing that Jesus condemns in today's gospel. The moral challenge that Jesus poses for us in today's gospel is in great need of being raised up in our society, in our day, in our lives. If we rise to the challenge and heed the call to conversion of heart, and in the words of James, be doers of the word and not just listen to it, then it will be able to be said about us, this great nation is truly a wise and intelligent people, with the Lord our God as its true leader. In that way will we be able to render religion that is pure before our God, our hearts undefiled and at peace.